Make in India, one campaign of the Narendra Modi government that has managed to create a lot of buzz, but has it also managed to succeed in its objective of creating jobs, attracting investors and turning India into a manufacturing powerhouse? Hello and welcome to this very special show. I'm Shweta Rajpal Kohli, and with me today, Amitabh Kant, someone who has been spearheading many of the government's leading initiatives, including Make in India. And we're coming to you today from the Ashoka University, a premier liberal arts university on the outskirts of Delhi. So it's going to be these students who will be quizzing you, Mr. Kant, today.
Great pleasure.
But let me start by actually getting a sense of where Make in India stands today. It's a campaign that was kicked off in September 2014. What's the kind of progress we've made, especially coming at a time when you're looking at a mega Make in India week in Mumbai to attract investors?
So Shweta, first foremost, I think that one of the key objectives of Make in India was to open up our economy. And we've opened up India's economy. This government has opened up defense, railways, construction, insurance, pension fund, just about everything. India today, other than multi-brand retail, is the most open economy of the world. And if you were to look at the last 15, 16 months, India's FDI has, and including the latest December figure, FDI inflows into India have increased by 48%, a whopping 48% at a point of time when globally, and we are in the midst of a very big slowdown globally, FDI has fallen by 16%. So that's one. So the second key objective was that we try and make India a very easy and simple place to do business in. And I think we are well on that act. We've tried to do away with a number of rules, regulation, procedures act. India's position has improved in the ease of doing business by 12 ranks. But I think there's a big challenge because most of the action is in the states. We've tried to create a sense of competition among states by making them compete. And I think the third important thing was that, we as a nation must respect people's intellectual property rights.
Right.
And therefore, we have coming out with a new intellectual property policy, which will have faith in, which will drive innovation, design, which will drive productivity in a very big way in India.
All right, but is it translating into more jobs, into better growth rates, into real investments coming in? Those are some of the concerns that always come up. But let's actually have some of the students here asking the questions. Yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
So, sir, I want to know exactly what are your views on Dr. Raghuram Rajan's statement of Make for India versus Make in India? Are we just replicating China's export model?
Yeah, nobody in the world actually manufactures for the domestic market only. When you're thinking large in size and scale, you manufacture for the domestic market. But you also manufacture for exports. And therefore, it's very necessary that India penetrates global markets as well. And till you don't do this, because the real unit value realization is abroad, it's not domestically. And therefore, if India has to do large-scale manufacturing, it must have the ability to penetrate global markets. Governor RBI said it in the context of a global slowdown right now, which is fair enough. But, India's share in the global economy, export share, is very minimal. It's just about 1.5%. And therefore, India needs to work hard to penetrate global markets. Without that, because exports and manufacturing have a very close direct relationship. If you are not able to push your exports, your manufacturing will obviously fall.
But this India versus China comparison is important, and it always comes up, especially when we talk about manufacturing, with many believing that India is way, way behind. We still have a lot of catching up to do, and that we simply cannot match up to the manufacturing capabilities of a country like China. How do you respond to that?
No, we've had a different strategy of growth. India's growth has largely been driven by the services sector. 60% of our GDP comes from the services sector. And therefore, we must understand that while China was the manufacturing powerhouse, India was the soft power of the world.
Right.
And therefore, it's necessary that today India must move forward. You can't create jobs without manufacturing.
Sure.
There are huge perils for India to bypass the process of manufacturing. And if you want to create jobs, You need to shift people from agriculture to manufacturing.
So my question is that it seems that Make in India campaign is more focused on foreign investment. So it has created kind of apprehensions in domestic market, domestic manufacture. So what is your opinion on that regard?
No country in the world can ever grow only on the basis of foreign direct investments. Foreign direct investment brings in technology, it brings in size, it brings in good companies from abroad. But essentially, it's the Indian manufacturers, it's the Indian entrepreneurs which must provide drive, fillip, and momentum to India's growth story. And I think that'll happen. We've had, Indian companies were overstretched, our banks were overstretched, but I think what you will see in the coming days to come, we are going through a process of structural transformation, but in the years to come, you will see Indian business enterprises giving a huge thrust to India's growth and India's economy.
So it's a misconception to say that Make in India is only to attract foreign investment.
Our objective is to drive India's economy, and that really implies that we must work in partnership with Indian enterprises. And we do a lot of work with Indian enterprises. We do a lot of work with young Indian startups. Right. We do a lot of work with a whole range of Indian businesses across states. FDI is just one component of what we do.
My question to you is, everyone are saying that Make in India is a very well-designed campaign and it's very aggressively being marketed. But a lot of Indians are having a concern is whether it is more of a PR campaign rather than a campaign that meant to create impact.
If it was just a PR campaign, India's position wouldn't have improved. India was slipping in ease of doing business. It wouldn't have improved so radically. If it was just a PR campaign, then we would not have opened up India's economy in such a vigorous manner. If it was just a PR campaign, India's FDI inflows would not have grown up by 48%. If it was just a PR campaign, we would not have pushed up for creating a totally new policy towards innovation, design, productivity, etc. So our focus is on driving change. Our entire focus is on very major structural transformation across 25 sectors.
You mentioned ease of doing business, and we of course spoke about how India's ranking has considerably improved. Are we on track to be in the top 50 as Prime Minister Modi had promised?
I think a lot of work has been done on that in terms of bankruptcy law, the new National Company Law Tribunal, the commercial courts, and these are all hard work, improving the turnaround time at our ports, and so on. So I think we are on track. The Prime Minister had said that take 3 to 4 years, bring India in the top 50 ranks. And I think we are well on track in the next 3 years to be in the top 50.
In the top 50 in the next 3 years. Why don't you pass the mic at the back, some girls?
To what extent do you think Make in India is a political party aligned campaign? As we can clearly see, there is lack of collaboration between parties. What is BJP government doing to bring other parties on the same page?
Well, to my mind, there should be no politics as far as economic agenda is concerned. There should be no politics as far as growth of India is concerned.
So the way the politics comes in, Mr. Kant, is that, as you said, that for Make in India to be a success, you clearly need, to a large extent, for the economy to grow. For the economy to grow, you need reforms to happen. A reform like GST getting stuck, clearly, many would call it due to just mere political reasons, is something that hampers what many investors are looking at as a growing economy, as India being a reform-driven economy. How critical would the passing of GST be to the success of Make in India?
My belief is that on several of these economic reforms issues, there's imminent need for political consensus. And I think all political parties must have the agenda of India's growth. Having said that, India has grown at rates of 9 to 10% in the past for 5 to 6 years. We didn't have a GST then. But I personally am of the belief that, GST is very important. India needs one uniform market. You need goods to move between states. It's very important also to have consensus around bankruptcy code.
Sure.
Because in India, you can't have failure.
Sir, as you are the CEO of the Niti Aayog, which is a national institution for transforming India, my question is that what exactly is the Niti Aayog doing? Because nobody seems to have any idea about it.
Well, I've just joined the Niti Aayog, and I'll be really getting into full flow from 1st of March when I move in full time there. But Niti Aayog is an institution for transforming India across social sectors, across infrastructure, across a vast range of areas, and I think it will do that job.
But if I could just add to that, when Niti Aayog was launched, there was a lot of hype, a lot of expectation, especially given that it was replacing an institution like the Planning Commission. We've seen that it hasn't quite taken off the way it was expected. So why has it been so slow?
No, well, it's just been 1 year. I mean, Indians, you've got to give, when you're transforming institutions, you give it, it's very important that Indians must learn the art of being patient when institutions are being built. This is the time for India, and this is the time for young Indians like you, and all of you must shape the destiny of India. Never be pessimistic. All these institutions will play a major role. India is going through a very major radical transformation. India will, even at a time when the global economy is slowed down across America, across Japan, across Korea, across China, India is growing at 7.4%. I mean, this is a remarkable achievement for any economy like ours.
Question which I want to ask, sir, and I'm not sure if you would be happy to hear this, is that there were serious allegations which were made against the Make in India logo, that it is a direct copy of the Zurich Cantonal Bank logo and that it's not made in India as it was made by W+K. And we saw some heated discussion between you and Dr. Tharoor on Twitter last year. So what are your comments on that?
Have you seen that Swiss train logo?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
It doesn't resemble the Make in India logo at all. At all. I've had a very close look at it. It doesn't resemble it at all. Now, you can have 10 lions. We make a lion, and then somebody says that I also have a lion, and then you say that we've copied that lion. This is the most absurd theory that came across. Most absurd this thing. Secondly, I think we must always be proud about the creativity of young Indians. The logo was created by a bunch of young Indians like you. I mean, they are the ones who created it. Give it credit. They were led by a team of WNK, which is V. Sunil. Now, we must understand that this logo was created by Indians sitting in Delhi, and this has captured the imagination of the world. It's been one of the most powerful campaigns. Have a sense of pride about this.